What is going on, guys? This is Autoclear635, and I apologize for not being super active, but I have a few updates that have to do with 3D printing and robots in general. So, number one, I already received the telegram from the mail, so there's a package that's including a robot, a pretty similar robot of one that I'm going to show right now. And then a repair mission for me. So pretty excited about that. But now going into robots and shit, I've been pretty creative with 3D printing. And I've been like, holy crap, I own a 3D printer, and it was just a question of time before I actually started modeling with FreeCAD and such. Fucking piece of shit mouse. Part design. Yeah, I'm about to design a little antenna, but anyway. Basically what I've been doing is I've been just testing out a few things, and I've been making some cosmetic parts as functional parts. And you guys are gonna be probably like, what is this? Why is it so dirty? This is cockroach shit, okay? This is the poop of the cockroaches. And these are arm pieces to what seems to be a Robosapien knockoff. What Robosapien knockoff? Roboactor. I got myself a Roboactor Super for around I'd say around 12 bucks or so. And it turns out the fucking thing was just filled up with cockroaches. It was a mess. Thankfully all the cockroaches were dead, but it was just so cringy. I just can't say how bad it was. There's pictures on my Facebook on how every single part looked like, but there's not a picture of the last leg. The last leg, which I assume it must be this one, was actually terribly filled up with cockroaches. It was a mess. It was the type of thing that I had to take the limb out, take it apart outside, and just literally dip it in water with the electronics and everything, like the button pads, the contacts, even the fucking batteries. I did not even want to take the batteries. I just put it in there until all the cockroaches were floating. There was a ton. It had broken parts and shit, and of course, both arm pieces were broken. So what did I do? I designed myself a little kind of piece. It ain't really a super definite piece, because as I'm not really, I'm not really a genius on this CAD modeling thing yet. I have my issues, but as you guys can see, this is the piece that I made. I made it for that one, particularly for every single Wowie and Wowie knockoff. For example, the Giaki Robone and the Giaki Roboactor Super. Fun thing is that they both have the exact same sound chip. There's a few that do have differences, especially with pitch. And it turns out this one's actually the exact same pitch as that one. There's not much of a difference. I'll make a close-up right now, actually. How can I stand on there? I'll grab this there. This will be shown in another video, though. I'm already charging the batteries to actually show it. But I'll go ahead and show a little bit of the robot itself. Just let me take some garbage out of the way. There we go. So, basically, the thing was pretty badly scratched, as I've said before. The body, the frame, the feet were the worst, but then the arms, and they even got to the little cap of, that little black cap that holds the LED, they even got to there. I was seriously shocked when I saw that. They did not get to the head, though. They got a little to the head, but that was it. But everything on this thing was dirty with cockroach shit. There were dead cockroaches everywhere, the classic cockroach shells, cockroach legs. There were cockroach legs in all of the fucking motors of this goddamn thing. I'm nowhere near kidding. It was infested with fucking cockroaches. And in all honesty, let's just say I'll go ahead and be sincere, and I'll say the price in Spanish. The price that I paid for this in pesos, in Argentinian pesos, was around 400 pesos. The day I got done with it, I saw one on Mercado Libre for like 1,000 pesos. I was just like, you gotta be fucking kidding me. I would have gone for that one, because this thing cost me a lot of stress. I know, it's a stupid robot, and I actually have to still model the little finger caps to put on here, because if you guys know, these generic Giaki robots, the older ones, have all of these things dried up. So if you do this, a piece is going to come off. That's just how the rubber is. It's all dry. Same with the Rabone. Um, you know, I was like, oh crap, I would have paid a bit more and not gone through the cockroaches because this thing is just terrible. This thing was terrible. It was, I think, whoever had it before sexually harassed it or something. They raped it. I don't know what the fuck they did to it because this thing, the hands did not open. Okay, that's okay. You know, the little black pieces and the black tube piece were broken. That's okay. This arm was actually fucked up and it was glued shut. Look at that. Look at that. Just kind of shit is this? It had dirt everywhere, which it still has a little bit actually. But again, it's because I'm mainly focused in cleaning up the inside that was 10 times worse. I will have to probably give it a little rub with alcohol in the places that are not painted. Arms, of course. These are new durable 3D printed arm pieces. So they shouldn't have an issue in a long ass time. These are the original ones. So the arms were literally like this and all they would do is just twist and not even open. One of the legs collapsed as soon as I took it apart. The sticks collapsed, which I'm still thinking, yeah, it was this one, the last one that I cleaned up. This was the one that had the worst cockroach infestation. Even this one was not that bad. This one had a little bit at the front and a lot at the back. This one had a lot at the back and a lot at the front. And I'm nowhere near kidding. I'm not just saying around, I don't know, 20 cockroaches. I'm saying around 40. I'm saying around 40 in each part of this motherfucking robot. They, as I said, they even got to the motors. I had to clean all the motors, lubricate them, fix a lot of screw holders that were snapped. By example, the ones from here, it was just terrible. It was awful. It works absolutely fine right now. The arms are pretty strong, actually. I like it because of that, and I promise I'll make a video. In fact, I'm actually charging the batteries right now, so he's going to be featured in another video pretty soon. But yeah, I mean, that's practically all that I had to do. Dip a few pieces that were corroded and rusted in vinegar. It took a lot of it out. Motors are all lubricated and all functioning the best they can. It's not the best walker though. It walks kind of like if he was retarded, but then again, with one of these robots, the materials they use for the mechanisms, because the only issues that there are on this robot are basically just 3. The board is not designed as a Robosapiens, meaning that this one, it drains a lot of power, and it's not the motor, it's the board itself, it's the way it's built. Motors and gearboxes are generally bad. Not really the motors, but, you know, if you were to get a Robosapien and just have the chance to, you know, replace the gearboxes, go ahead. It's going to work 10 times better. I mean, that's exactly what happened with Fire Dragon. Kevin gave me a parts Roboreptile, which is that one there, and I fixed up Fire Dragon, and voila, it works absolutely beautifully. But yeah, anyways, as I said before, this damn thing needed a lot of work. There were cockroaches in each gearbox, like, you know, the little things where those things are born. There were those in between the terminals of the motor. The motor for this arm was seized, as of course both pieces were broken, so the thing would not even move. You would hear this motor running, but that's it. You know, the gearbox running, but there was nothing connecting it to it. And yeah, I mean, that's practically it. There was a ton of things. I'm really shocked that this thing is actually still living. It's still alive. It never, you know, it has never had a brain board or electronical issue rather than just a stuck motor, and maybe the other motors need a little lubrication, but that's already covered up. Clean and converted, this motherfucker is proudly in my collection. I'm so happy that I finally own a RoboActor Super. Someday I'd like to get the pink one. Even though that one seems to be pretty scarce, I'm not quite sure about that, but as I've said, it's going to be featured in another video, so no worries. But yeah, I mean, it was just terrible. As I said, you wanna see how terrible this thing was, go to Facebook, go to my profile, which you guys probably know, some of you will, of course, know. Go to my repair, restorations, and modifications video, and I have all the pictures that I took of this motherfucker with a last video, a conclusion video. Fuck, it was a mess. It was a mess. Enough said. Anyway, so back with the 3D printing, as I've said, I made the arm piece, so that's amazing. This is the arm piece, so I'll just discard this shit and start from scratch. I've also worked on building some cosmetic parts as well, you know. I worked on my cousin's top robot, and I made a little antenna to it, which Don't get me wrong, this thing required a little bit of work. This antenna. This piece of shit can fucking shit cannot even focus because the fucking robot's chromed. For fuck's sake. Come on, there you go. It's just glued on. I tried making the little hooks and it turned out to be a nightmare. This is the very first version I made of it, which was pretty shitty, pretty short, and pretty rough. I had to cut the things off. You know, the hole was not that deep, so I had to burn it a little bit. And it was really short, so it was like, yeah, garbage. So I ended up updating it and making this one, which is a whole lot better. It looks a whole lot better. The square is much more square and much more. It fits just perfectly. It's pretty precise. And all I had to do was just put a little glue and snap it in place, and that was practically it. It would even hold without the glue on, so that's pretty nice. And the thing that I like about it is that if you see it from close, it actually does look like if it was an antenna of these without this cover. So it looks like this was some kind of, cover, and this was what's inside the antenna, which it gives it a little character to it. It's actually really neat. As I like this robot a lot, this is one of my very, very, very favorite robots because it's literally the only one that's been left of my childhood, and it's not even from my childhood, but it was one I played with when I was a kid. It's really important. Anyways, I also made a little Happy Kid Mighty Warrior size shield, which turned out to be a piece of shit, just like the Turbo Fighter shield. I first I modeled the handle, and then I was like, yeah, I'll make some kind of round shield, kind of like, I don't know, an Explorer, or like a horse robot shield, that round shield that Sun AI Toys uses, and it really did not turn out as good as I thought. I mean, it's really tight, and it looks more like a toy pizza rather than a shield. It looks more like a Raider type thing. So I mean, it's a first test. I may end up trying to make a gun or something. And of course, for this, which is this is my only red turbo fighter, which it used to be a super fighter. Soon it will be a super fighter again. That has a gun. This is the only one that I have that has a gun. I also did end up trying to make a shield for it, and it turned out nice, but not super nice, because, usually shields of these Happy Kid robots, they are supposed to cover down all of the fist, and this one hardly does that. It doesn't get all the way down, and, it's too crappy. But then again, it's a first shot, so don't expect too much. Anyways, aside from that, what I'm trying to go through right now, and this is why I have these other two, I have Universal Fighter 4 that I received from a mom's friend, and a knockoff Explorer, which, as I said, I'm going to be receiving an Explorer from Daniel Aguilar. Thank you very much for that, by the way. You guys are going to see the unboxing video probably, and I'll go ahead and explain what is the other Santa that comes with it. But I'm also on the way of making a little antenna for it, which is right here. Here's the sort of plane that I have, which still needs a little measurement and shit. I'm also trying to see if I can make some kind of stick to it that goes on that hand. And just a bunch of other projects, the measurements for that arm piece, which I already have the thing, so I no longer need it. I may remodel this in a little while because the circle turned out to be too big, so I had to sand it with a machine so that the metallic ring could actually fit. And this is way too square. I mean, it's a whole lot smaller in the updated pieces because I actually put like the edges are rounded. But I will try to make an exact, accurate piece so I don't have to sand anything from the original robot, and I can just, snap it in place, and that's practically it. All that I could probably just sand or cut a little bit is the gap in between these two circles, and that's it. So I can just put it in there, and that's, much more modular and less time wasted on it. Anyways, I said I'm trying to make a little pair of weapons, maybe, and an antenna for it, and then an antenna for Universal Fighter 4. Once I'm done with that, maybe gun tips as well, at least to have the STL files. And as soon as I can, I'll buy myself some clear filament of red and blue or something, or maybe, yeah, red and blue, and I'll change these things which are garbage. And I mean, yeah, that's practically what I'm doing. I may start doing some battery covers and shit. Again, right now that I have a 3D printer, the possibilities are endless. The only thing that's not endless is the shitty-ass small surface it has. Other than that, that's it. So, another update is that I've been making the Big Max robots from John Rigg. As I said, this is the prototype. And this is the one it's not finished yet. It actually needs a couple, gears, because the ones that I printed are kind of they turned out like shit. I just wanted to do it, quick. I may end up redoing the body. I'm not really sure about that, but I could probably redo the body. But then again, that would require me to snap the head off. But yeah, his is gonna have. This is as I said before. This is for Kevin. This is the we can call it Zarua 635 Big Max or something. As I said, I am having a couple friends that I take the requests on, and I actually, like by example, I know the colors. What color do you want every single piece to be? The light type, the sound type, and if it has or not a try me button and shit. And this is basically what I'm doing. It all depends on the chip as well. So this one's almost done. I only gotta redo these gears, and that's practically it. And then, of course, Kevin's gonna have to put a 3 AAA battery. 2 AAA, it's not gonna be enough, so it's gonna be a 3 AAA. And the little switch for the crotch. Yeah, that's how you turn on this. That's how you turn this robot on. Anyway, so now I'll be making the one for Daniel, which I already have all the colors and all the things. As soon as I finish with a couple personal things, so that's on its way. And yeah, I mean, that's basically all the updates. I also got myself a couple Santas, which I think they are at the very front. Yeah, these two. They are the same. They're actually, it's not the one with the bottle, it's the one that has the it's this one and this one that I got. They both sing the same song, they both have the same mechanism, everything's the same, only that one's arm is facing, like, the back, and the bag is differently placed. But, I went to Chinatown and I was like, yeah, I want to get Santas. Because robots were way too expensive. Ridiculously expensive. I mean, they had the yellow version of the Pioneer, and it was absolutely it was absolutely disgusting, the price they had for it. I mean, I paid like $450 for mine. This one was $990 something. And it pissed me off because they had the yellow one as well. And I was like, I need the yellow one, and I need the red one. So I was like, yeah, fuck it, I don't care. But I mean, yeah, just a few other things. I mean, in a few days, I will end up going to pick up the package from Daniel, so we're gonna have a really nice project, yeah, going on. A repair project, which will be pretty, I'm already pretty excited for that. And what else? And yeah, I mean, other than that, I guess that's almost everything. I may be getting a robot soon. I'm not really sure about it yet, so I'm not gonna give any spoilers or anything. So yeah, another Santa that I got in China, because I got 3. I got those 2, and I got another Beats climbing Santa that's a little bit newer. Nothing super old, nothing super different from the other one, but for the price, I could not pass. I just could not pass. But yes, I said, as soon as I finish some accessories and some little weapons, I'll continue with the Big Mac. Big Macs, I'm sorry. And yeah, I guess that's everything. So thank you for watching, everyone, and I'll see you all in the next video. Caliper, let's work.